Hey there, welcome back to another edition of Quadrant 2 Project Manager. I'm Kurt, your Q2PM, and I am giving you another installment in this series of starting up a project management office for a city. So I've just finished my second week, but only 4 days total so far. So the first week was 2 days, the second week was 2 days. The first week was 2 days because I started on a Wednesday, then worked a Thursday, but then that was our Friday off, that Friday, so just 2 days, which is really good because that, and I think I covered this in another video, that gave me 3 solid days to digest all the facts that I collected, and I really needed that. So I came back the following week on a Monday, and I worked a Tuesday, and I had lots of facts, and I had put them into the SharePoint sites that I had created, my own Microsoft tenant SharePoint site, so I was running it. So this is what I will operate the projects off of from a running start. This is the sites that I'll use, but then I'm going to create a mirror site for the city itself in its own SharePoint, but I haven't created that. And when I came back the next week, I began working on that, but I also had more meetings. And from those meetings, I was able to gather more information and start to lay in the milestones for the projects. But more important than that, and this is what I wanted to talk about with this video, was, and I didn't go into it doing this necessarily, but I've been finding it's been very good, very helpful, is that I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm finding ways to kind of, after, or even during, if it's a one-on-one, but at the end of the one-on-one formal meetings, I try to get a little time aside with the person. And I get to know them a little bit, as we all try to do. We're all human beings after all. We work better when we know one another. But I ask them 2 pointed questions. One, and it's a little hard to do this just right, so that it doesn't come out like you're prying, or is the word weak? You know, like looking for others to tell you what to do, because it can appear that way if I don't do this right. But the questions that I'm asking are one, what do you, as the teammate, the stakeholder, the sponsor, whoever you are, what are you hoping for from me as your project manager? This is where you have to couch it just right, so it doesn't sound like, show me the way, or I'm giving you all the power, because I don't have a lot of power. But at the same time, I'm a leader. I'm the project manager, so I have to lead. I can't be steered by everybody else necessarily. I have to lead according to the methodology and the best practices and the best sense that I have. So it's a difficult thing to, like, show me where you want, show me what you want me to do, while still not taking control of me. So far it works. At least in my mind, it seems to be getting the point across correctly, and people are giving me the answers. And it's interesting how their demeanor changes. People kind of open up to you. People like to talk about that stuff. They like that. They want help. And this is why it's good to put it at the tail end. I think I'm a personable person, and I tend to disarm people. I like to think so. It seems to be the case. And after a half hour, an hour conversation with me, I think people are ready for that question. They get to know me. Like, hey, maybe this guy Kurt, he's not after me or anything, or he's not mean or anything like that. Or and he says, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? How can I help you in your role? I've been learning a lot. And basically, people want my help facilitating their good work. People are good. People are mostly good, the misunderstandings come from misunderstandings. Poor communication leads to the sense that people may not have virtue and interest. And some people may be lacking some of that, but for the most part, it seems that most people do want to do good. So they just want to do a good job. They want to go home feeling like they did something productive today and tomorrow and in their career. And they'd like my help along the way. And I can do that to the best of my ability. The second question that I ask, what does success look like to you for this project? When this project comes to an end, what would it look like? What would happen that in your mind, the person I'm talking to, in your mind, that you would consider this a success? Now, it's really easy to toe the party line and just simply whip out the old charter and say, here is the agreement, here's the scope, right? We agreed to 5 items, and success is we do those 5 items, right? Maybe not. Maybe those 5 items are technically what needs to be done, but maybe there's a larger business problem that needs to be solved. And hearing someone describe it in their own language helps me to understand what their objective is. And for the most part, I've been doing this now for 2 weeks, 4 days, 4 days within 2 weeks. And people are basically telling me the same story, but I'm hearing it from slightly different perspectives. Success does mean different things to different people. So now, when that happens, I ask people, well, what can I do for you to help you as your project manager? And 2, what would this project look like as a success in your eyes? People come away with a sense that I'm an ally, that I'm someone who is on their side and is not a threat. And that changes the whole human dynamic. Even with people who may have some issues, because we all do, right? And some of them more so than others come out in the workplace. Some people are jaded. Some people may be a little bit hurt, disillusioned, whatever the case may be, and a little bit fearful that the new project manager is going to, say or do or demand something that's going to poke at those festering wounds. I'm not here to poke at festering wounds. I am here to work hard, and I'm here to make sure that others work hard and keep the promises that we make. And if they can't keep the promises that they make, then we have to identify why, come up with a contingency plan and impact statement for that. So, I can do all of that, and we can do that and still not poke at festering wounds. I think what's happening now is I'm setting the stage for a partnership with each of the stakeholders and sponsors on the projects and with the teams. And I think that if I do this well with these first projects, that's going to set a precedent for projects in the future. And it's going to make things a lot smoother for everybody, including me. Heaven knows I'm going to need a little smoothness ahead. I'm anxious about going into this. January is going to be an interesting month for me. But my dad used to tell me when I was learning to ride a motorcycle, dirt bike, he said, if you're not bleeding, you're not learning. So I'm ready to bleed a little bit because I'd like to learn a lot. And with that, I'll go ahead and sign off. It's time for me to prepare dinner for my family. Tonight I'm making veggie, I think you pronounce it Kiana bowl. There you go. And my little puppy dog is over there watching me on the couch. Christmas tree, it's the day after Christmas. We'll leave it up for another couple of days. And then it'll be at the family will be home soon. Thanks for joining me. And remember, make every meeting matter and make every project matter. Hey, we only get this life, right? Why not do the best we can while we're here? Okay, see you later. And a happy 2020 almost.